back to Bergisch land. We are in the Kras and we are about to head off to sell our canola as we've reached about the peak price. I just need to adjust that game volume a little bit. So yeah, we've got 26,000 litres of canola. Nice. Between now and the last video, I got 3 of the fields of OSR planted that we're using as a cover crop for the fields, so they're going to have spring crops in them. I didn't think you needed to see me just run through those fields. The field we have left to do is the field that had carrots, because as I've said, my plan is to do some tillage on those first, and we're going to run the big plough that we have over that field first. It's waiting in the field on the back of the Fendt 1100. So we're going to get that done, get that field planted with OSR, and then I'm hoping by then the soil temps will be coming up so that we can get our oats planted. You can see the canola that we planted is coming up, and you can see the tram lines in the field there, which is really cool. It seems to stay quite dark here in Bergisch land in autumn. It's 8:15 in the morning and it's not very bright yet. It's not your screen. It probably means we're going to have some fairly short days through the winter, I suspect. I've just realised that we didn't actually manage to fit all of the canola into the truck, so I'm going to have to do a couple of runs of this, which is a little bit annoying. Should just put it in a big trailer. Thought this would be quicker using the truck. Oh well. We'll stamp on the accelerator and try and get down there a bit quicker. The traffic on this map is pretty swift actually, and quite busy on this road. Makes it quite difficult to overtake, particularly in a heavily loaded, not a very powerful truck. But I'm sure, like me, you are all busy watching all the FS22 preview content as I'm recording this on Saturday of preview weekend. And you'll have seen my video that I've literally just recorded on what I think of the preview so far. So, yeah, looking good. I'm kind of frustrated that because I wanted the DLC content that was exclusive to game in the UK, which was the Mack Black Anthem and one of the Z-Tour tractors and the Fendt Black Beauty. I ordered a copy from game, and that means I've got to wait for my physical copy of the game to arrive to be able to download and install it, which is really annoying, to the point where I was actually considering buying a digital copy. But then I realised that actually it really isn't worth the extra money. I just need to be a little bit patient. I'm not sure how to get to this sell point. I'm assuming it's down here. Maybe. There we go. I do love this map. Kind of hoping that this comes pretty quickly to FS22. Let's see what we weigh. We have a line by point here. Well, I don't really have anywhere to store a lime, otherwise I could take a trailer load back with me. That would be pretty handy, wouldn't it? Oh well. So yeah, today's jobs are get the OSR planted, get the oats planted, and then you may remember that's like a milk cell point. We may be needing that because we do have calves now. If you remember, during the last episode, I in one of the breaks that I took in recording, I added compost in. So today is the last day that before the grass will wilt for winter, I think. At the very most it's tomorrow. So my plan is, once we've got the, in fact, whilst we wait for the ground temps to come up for the oats, we will be going and buying a non tedding, not tedding, conditioning, a non-tedding mower, and a loading wagon, and going around and cutting all of the headlands and stuff and bits of grass that I've missed, and making some compost. So it probably would have been even, we may take a load of lime back in the truck actually, because we'll need some lime for that, not much, but we'll take a load back because we can use it for both the compost and for liming our grass fields. I'm going to get this loaded back up and I will be back with you in a second. Just running back down to the sell point now. Some other things that I've remembered whilst I was reloading. We put about 35,000 euros worth of silage through the BGA through the rest of yesterday afternoon whilst I was running the OSR planting. So that's quite good. We're building up a little bit of a supply of digestate. The sawmill has finished processing all the trees we took up in a couple of videos ago, and we got about 10,000 litres of wood chips out of that, which I've brought back to the yard, and actually most of that's gone already into the cows. It's not the most efficient for producing wood chips. We do have a whole load of empty pallets up there that we need to sell. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to save that for a winter job now that the sawmill's quiet, and I think over the winter we might buy ourselves or lease ourselves a wood chipper and just get a stockpile of wood chips on hand for the cows, because it doesn't seem like, unless I really focus on running the sawmill, it's going to give me enough to bed the cows down with. It seems like its main output is the empty pallets, which obviously may cost a load of money, but not ideal from our point of view for bedding cows down. So we could just buy the wood chips, but I actually want to produce them myself, so we're going to have a look at a wood chipper to get those made. And I need to get a vehicle permanently over at the sawmill for managing that if we're going to keep using it. So this should be lime. Actually, before we do that, how much did we make off canola? 51,000 euros. Awesome. Really pleased with that, considering it was a crop that we inherited that was not fertilised or anything. But this is going to be a pretty heavy load to drag back to the yard. In fact, we'll go out over the weigh scale, because we weighed 22,000 kilos when we came in fully loaded with canola. What do we weigh going out fully loaded with lime? Yeah, we picked up an extra 12,000 kilos. This will test the brakes. So I'm going to get back to the farm, put this somewhere under cover, because obviously we don't want it to get wet at all. And then we will get into some ploughing. So I'll do a little bit of that whilst we chat, and then we'll jump into the time-lapse bit. I've been mixing it in some montage with the time-lapse. Interested what people think of that, rather than just me doing all the really fast stuff, trying to get some nice shots of the kit as well. I'm not a brilliant cinematographer, I have to admit. But I did a bunch of those in the whole mod video when we finished that series up, which was a little bit, it wasn't quite as a moment as finishing Oakfield, where we did 5 years, but it was definitely a series that I've been playing for a long time. So it was kind of a moment finishing that off. Do like this truck. So we've got the logging bed for this, obviously, which we've seen me use quite a few times. We've also got the milk transporting bed, which we will be using once we get a bit more milk to sell. We don't have enough that it's worth it at the moment. So probably hang on to that until into winter time, when we might need some more cash. I'm going to end up driving all the way back to the farm at this rate, aren't I? Which I might as well do now. So what am I going to miss in FS22 if you didn't watch the... Oh, it's going to be snug. Yep, that's probably a write-off. I should work out how to do one of those crashed out of things. What am I going to miss in FS22 that's in 19? Courseplay. Massively. Going back to base game workers is going to suck. I had the first 2 years I did on a Humboldt, I could only use base game workers because I was playing without scripted mods, and yeah, it was tough. You do learn how to use them, and the key really is setting up good big headlands before you put the worker on. I found that made a big difference. And for most field work, I would do kind of a U-shaped headland. So you do 2 or 3 headlands on each of the short rows, each end of the field, and then one up one of the long rows, and then you can set the worker to work, and that seemed to work quite well. A bunch of you probably know this stuff, but I very quickly adopted Courseplay when I started playing FS19 because it was available when I started playing FS19. Because I only started playing Farm Sim a year and a half ago, so I'm used to having all the mods and stuff. We'll just park this up in here. Pretty sure we won't be able to tip it into this bunker silo, into this silo, but what we can do is switch off. And if I can get out, I can't because I've got myself stuck. That was very clever. We can shut the doors and hopefully keep that lime dry. And then we're going to go jump in the big vent, which so far you've only seen me use to compact silage. I have done a little bit of ploughing, so the area around near the sheep pen where the carrots are stored, where the grass is not started growing yet. I had to do a bit of landscaping around that when I put the 2 sheds in, and I then re-ploughed an area to plant with grass. So we've got the Novag ready, waiting on the back of the Deutz. And in the Fendt 1154 we have this guy, the Bandorant. It's a plough. I think it's a plough, I don't think it's a subsoiler. Yeah, it's a plough because I used it to create fields. But obviously we have some crop left in the ground on this field, and also with it having been carrots, and it leaves a cultivated texture, which is a bit strange. But with it having been carrots in the ground in real life, you'd probably want to knock down the ridges that you would have, and this would certainly do that job. It might be a bit of a rough ride. The other option is we've got an Amazon disc that we could put on the back of one of the tractors, but I thought I'd give this a go just because it's a nice tractor. We've got the nice 3D tracks on there, so this is a Ford Ag edit of the Fendt. I'm not sure if it's more powerful than the base game one as well. So this is the field that's going to be planted with oats once the temperature crop pops up. So we need 6 degrees for that. It is due to be much warmer later today, so we shouldn't have a problem achieving that. But looks like it's a plough and a then I guess the baskets on the back roll it out. That's really good for prepping the seedbed for us. Okay, I think now we will jump into the time lapse on here. So future me will be with you very shortly. So this is very, very future me because I recorded that again, a bit like the first survival challenge episode over a week ago now, but just getting around to sorting the commentary on the time-lapse part. So getting this field ploughed in, and technically I didn't need to do it because the Novag is a no-till and it also subsoils, so it covers off the ploughed texture. But as I said in the intro, for a semi-realism's sake, I think we should be knocking down the mounds that the carrots would have been planted on, although it doesn't quite show in the texture in FS19. It's very weird seeing FS19 having played a lot of FS22 over the last week or so. I am going to be continuing this series, and for those of you that are wondering, my West Texas series, which is probably going to start up again next week, I think. I've got a few videos that I want to get out before that starts up again. pretty much done with, or about halfway through getting this field ploughed. So skipping rows because this thing is a bit of a pain to turn, but isn't it nice having GPS? I'm going to start playing again on here soon, and it'll be nice to have GPS, but it'll be tricky remembering all the controls and things because I haven't played it for a while. So one more row and then we're going to get the Novag working, getting some OSR in here as a cover crop for the winter, because I can't remember what this is going to be, but it's a crop that we're going to be planting in the spring. So using the OSR just to get some nitrogen in, because all our fields are such a mess on here with precision farming. They're all pretty much down at 0 nitrogen. So I'm going to leave course play to do that, because we're going to go and make some compost. If you remember, I've added compost into this map, and we're going to get ourselves a little mower that is non-conditioning and a loading wagon, and I'm going to run around as many headlands and random bits of grass that we have left on the farm to make some compost, so that when it comes around to spring we can get that on the field and add some more nitrogen into our yet to be planted fields to sort out our pretty dire nitrogen situation. So beacons on, and causing a bit of a traffic issue, but running our first bit of headland. Yeah, I do try and get every random scrap that I can, just so that we can get some compost in the pit. Plan for the future is that probably one of the cuts we do in the year we will put into a clamp to compost, because we're going to need that for keeping the fields going with our organic farming, and we probably aren't going to need to do all 3 cuts we normally get in a year for hay and silage. Yeah, as it actually turns out, there's quite a lot of grass on the headlands of the arable fields and the grass fields that I've mown to get us a nice supply of compost. So first load of grass, fresh, going in, or wet grass, and you can see that turns into raw compost as we tip it into the pit. I'm going to mow this little area as well, just taking a quick break to get a couple of mist patches that the course plate had of getting that OSR in the ground, and then back to running the compost. It's the second or third load. I need to do about 3 loads in the end. So this may be us done. I can't remember. Yep, so we are done with mowing the grass. Jumping in the fence. Something weird has happened to the 3-point on this. I need to look back and see if it was always that way. But we're going to just knock the tips down a little bit and then grab the lime that we brought over and add about 10,000 litres of lime. We have about 90,000 litres in here already, I think. 130,000 litres in here. So we're going to end up with nearly 140,000 litres of compost come spring. This does take a bit longer to ferment than silage. I think it's another day or so. But I'll just get this compacted quickly and I'll be back with you and we'll get it covered up. So that's all done. I love the Fendt for doing that kind of job. So covered up, and we'll just leave that to ferment now. Last job for today. I'm taking a bit of a gamble here. We need 6 degrees to plant the oats. We have 4 degree soil temps, but the rest of the day is going to be warm, so I'm gambling that it is going to warm up enough that these will germinate. This is the last day that we can plant them. If not, we may have to replant them in the spring. I just want to try and get it in the ground so that they can start growing. And then next game day, we were going to move on to sorting out our grass fields. Everything at the moment is planted with grass. I want to get some clover and alfalfa in the ground, and also some field grass because I've not done anything with that, and probably some horse grass as well because we do have the horse stable over at the other side of the map, and we'll use that along with the field grass to make our horse silage. Running the proceed as well, so doing 3 headlands on here so that we can get a set of tram lines down the middle. Although this field is pretty sorted for nitrogen, so we shouldn't actually need to come back on here, but we'll put the tram lines in anyway just in case we do. You can see I think they look quite good in the canola that we've got planted. For my first attempt at doing tram lines, I think I did a reasonable job. Those more experienced with it may disagree, but hey. So yeah, probably going to be running 2 episodes a week on here. once I get back to a more regular schedule. Obviously, it's kind of tempting to do FS22 tutorials at the moment just to get a few more views, and I'm doing the Terra Life Maze Plus summary videos from the streams with the alien pool, but I'm probably going to do those as a double day. So there'll still be a Let's Play video because some of you like watching them, and I like making them, so I'm going to keep making them. Just how it is, it's my channel. Pretty much done on here, not too many tram lines, one more we will put in and then we will call it a day, and I will be back here tomorrow. Well, tomorrow in game. It'll be a few days before there's another video. So thanks for watching, folks. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, and I will catch you next time on Bergisch Land.